Hey guys, Mike from Pattern Traders. I want to take a few minutes and talk to you guys about the liquidity indicator, how I use it, how I make money off it, and what was the purpose of it being built. So, the liquidity indicator itself is a proprietary algorithm based off of BitMEX's liquidations. It's like basically where majority of the people have their stop losses, where majority of the liquidity is sitting, and you want to see a reaction at that zone, right? Whether it's at a specific, like maybe 50-point zone, or whether it's at a 100-point zone, you want to still see a reaction at that area. More likely than not, the levels are pretty accurate, so you're not going to see a wick go past that level. It respects it pretty well. You know, you might get a little bit of a poke above and whatnot, but for the most part, it respects it very well. I can't really show you how well it works in the past because the levels change based on volume and time frame. So as the volume comes in for that specific asset, these levels fluctuate. Like for example, right now the 1 hour showing that the 50x longs are at 10.576. Within about 3 hours, this might be 10.596, right? So you won't see if this cluster over here tagged it or not, right? Unless you're watching it live. I could assure you that when playing these levels live, they're stellar, man. They're stellar. They're awesome. All right, so favorite time frames. I use it strictly on the 1 hour to get an idea of where my micro ceiling and floor is. I know for a fact on my 1 hour it will not surpass the 25x short or the 25x long. So I'm anticipating that for the next 24 hours we should be trading within this range, the 50 to 50, right? And whatnot. So yeah, you're going to get times where it will just blast through it, right? But that's a shift in trend. We're talking about when we are ranging. More likely than not, the 25s will offer support and resistance, meaning floors and ceilings. So off the bat, what I do once I wake up in the morning, I go straight to my daily, right? And I identify where my daily 25s are, right? So my daily 25 short is at 10.9 and my daily 25 long is at 10.299. I know for a fact that if we happen to go anywhere near this level or this level within the next 24 hours, we're going to get a reaction. So I cap it at that perspective. 12-hour works the same way. I want to identify where my 12-hour levels are. My 12-hour levels for my, excuse that, sorry about that, guys. Right there. Let me close. There we go. This way it doesn't happen again. Sorry about that. So my daily 12 hours. So now let's go back to the scalping. Right? So now I know where my max ceiling and my max floor is. That's how I use it on a high time frame, right? Usually when BTC dumps down to the 25x mark on whatever time frame, assuming we're talking about the 1 hour because we're scalping now or we're intra trading, more likely than not, this was the 25. More likely than not, it will go for that opposite 25. You even if it takes 4 days, you're gonna see a slow grind up until it hits the opposite 25. It happens, right? Now the 25 is currently over here, but a few days ago or 2 or 3 days ago, it was probably somewhere around here. That's just the way it works. That's why we got rejected. Okay, so let's go into the actual indicator itself and tell you guys what settings I use. I didn't modify visually. I made the thickness 1 because I don't want to see the lines. They're annoying. I usually have labels off, but for video purposes, I'm keeping them on so you can see exactly what the labels are. We also added a cloud to give you an idea of when not to short and when not to long. Do not short anything in the green area and do not long anything in the red area. Pretty much, you know. You could see how perfectly. It's a perfect visual. You get a sell signal. If you get a sell signal at a liquidity area at the top near a red cloud, more likely than not you're going to dump, right? I'm not telling you to take these signals blind, but use the green cloud as a bounce zone. Use the red cloud as a resistance zone, right? I don't use it. I don't like it. I don't care for it. It's annoying. I like clean backgrounds. All right, let's go back into my scalp. So how I use it. So this is my setup, right? My TMA bands. I identify my. Sorry, it's gonna take me a little time to do this, but this is how I do it. You get the idea, right? I identify my ceilings and my floors for the day. Even though I'm not anticipating that we're going to go there, but you still need to do that, right? Do your due diligence so you know where you're capping off. I open up my TMA bands, and this is my setup, right? This is what I'm looking at. So I know for a fact now that we got liquidity at the 100 and we got liquidity at the 50, which is perfectly fine. We could actually go for a double top over here. I'm not saying we're going to do it, but we can go for a double top over here, and we should see a nice rejection zone. So if we do happen to get back up to the 840s or 880s, it's an easy short, right? It's going to be most definitely a good RR short. You're going to put your stop loss above either this wick or that wick and call it a day. So the way I could show you how well it works is yesterday. It was here that took the short. All right. So yesterday, let's go to the 15 minute. It should have been here. Hold on. Or was it 30 minute? Guys, I still have allergies. I apologize. Oh, you can still see it. Good. It didn't move much. That means volume didn't come in. See this 50S? It hit it to the T, and then it dumped, and it went to try to take the 100x longs, right? So when playing the lowers, 15 minute, 30 minute, 45 minute, and 1 hour, I don't usually use it above the 1 hour unless I'm just trying to see where the ceiling and where the floor is. So when playing the lowers, it respects the levels very well as long as you have confidence that there's additional resistance at that area. See how well it respects it. And you want to do one of two things, right? So if we happen to tap the 50x shorts first, you want to target automatically the 100x longs afterwards, right? It plays ping pong. When BTC ranges like what it's doing right now, you can make significant money playing high leverage. Or I don't want to tell you how to trade, but this is what I do. I play high leverage setups when BTC trades in this specific range. Now, someone might say, hey, the buy-sell indicator, the buy-sell signals sometimes give you crazy signals at random spots. It's not that it's random spots. It's if BTC is trending, more likely than not, the signals might be a little bit off. If BTC gets into a beautiful range, the signals are going to be pretty accurate, right? Because when you're ranging, you know where your floor and where your ceiling is. You can't argue that, and you can't beat that. It's perfect, right? So now, looking at this specific setup, when you grab the 50x shorts, you want to target the 100x longs. When you grab the 100x longs, you want to target the 50x shorts. So we usually ping pongs between 100 and 100, and then between 100 and 50, right? That's the way it works, and vice versa. If we do happen to get to a 25, right? If we do happen to get to a 25 at a time frame, more likely than not, you're going to get either a slow grind down to the other side or a slow grind up to the top side, right? That's just the way it works. Like right now, currently, I'm sitting in a scalp long from the morning. I didn't get a good entry, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I got somewhere in over here. I was sleeping, so once I woke up, I punted along. I market longed right away. When I saw this, it was right here. So I got my confirmation. So as long as I see this over here, I wasn't up for this, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to get it. I market bought this over here, which is perfect because you have your confirmation buy down here. Oh shoot. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So that being said, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that. All right. That being said, you want to use the liquidations in a sense of, if we get a reaction at that level or that area, and we're at a good resistance or a good support, don't be afraid to punt a long or punt a short, right? So let's go back. Let's go back to see. We have a visual of that. Let's go back to see what happened here. Let's go to this one. Okay. So look at our liquidity. Our liquidity over there is at 10.922, okay? 10.922, and we're over here now. And ideally, you want to tell yourself, all right, we're completely out of the bands. We have bullish momentum, but let's start looking for a reversal, right? Because usually when you get outside the bands, you want to start looking for a reversal. Don't knife catch this, because this thing could just keep going out of the bands, right? But you want to look for a reversal. So now when looking for a reversal, you tell yourself, let's play this back. Where's my nearest ceiling? It's the 50. Let's see if it taps it. Boom. Tapped it. Tapped it perfectly. Right? And now it's moving higher. But it did tap it perfectly. Let's see what happens now. When doing this live, trust me, it works very well. And this is how I use the liquidity indicator. Go a little faster. All right, so I tapped the 50x shorts. Now let's see where it's going to end up. There you go. That's done, right? So it took liquidity from the top side, then it took liquidity from the bottom side, and then it reset, right? So when playing the liquidity levels, all you want to do is you want to see a reaction at that level. So you might miss it because you're not on the computer. For example, over here, this is the 100x short. If you're not watching this, do you know right now if it tapped it or not? You don't, right? So ideally, it works best if you're playing it live. But if you're close to that level, close enough to that level, you could assume that it took it, right? You could assume that it took the liquidity. And what I mean by take, I'm saying there's a reaction there, so it wicked past it. If you see a wick near a liquidity level, you know that it's basically a good reaction. We should have a potential shift in that specific time frame's trend, right? I'm not saying it's going to go up $1,000 or down $1,000, but enough to go from green zone to red zone or red zone to green zone, right? You understand what I'm saying? The whole idea here is to play top to bottom, scalp as much as you can, collect, make money, preserve capital. If you want to play a higher time frame, like a 4-hour, let's delete everything. I want to play a 4-hour. Look how well this respected. Look how well this respected. Look how well this respected, right? So like the 50x longs got respected for probably like 7 days. 2 days, I'm sorry. 2 days. And I don't know how many days this was. Probably like a day and a half then if that was 2 days. This was not even a day. 16 hours. This was only 2 candles over here, so 8 hours. So it's a very great visual tool to have. And I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I don't trade without it, by the way. I can't see BTC going to 11,000s unless this 25 gets tapped. I just can't see. It could happen. I'm not here to project. I'm not here to predict or forecast. I'm here to react when price moves, right? So I'm still anticipating that BTC will come down to this level, this 25x long, because it's been down here for, I think it's been down here for, I don't know how long, man. It's been down here for, let's see, where are we? Almost a week, man. Almost a week, and we haven't touched it, right? So we basically broke above it. We broke above this OB, up, consolidating, and we haven't really retested that level. We did have a deviation. Let's close everything and just go strictly off price action, right? Let's just go strictly off price action. Let's go strictly off price action. Sorry, guys. So we deviated over here, right? I'm pretty sure everyone knows what deviation is. If you don't, send me a message and I'll explain to you what deviation means. That's a deviation, right? So when you go, basically, you consolidate, resistance, rejection, break above, fake out, come back down, retest, and then dump. But if you look at it from a lower time frame, it looks a lot cleaner. Let's go to the 1 hour, or 30 minute rather. Yeah, there we go. See how beautiful this deviation looks? So consolidate, break above, deviate back under, retest, fake out, dump. But as long as this 10.6 holds, right here, as long as this 10.6 holds, we're not going to see lower pricing. But there's tons of liquidity. Oops, sorry. There's tons of liquidity over here. I can't even get to the magnet because of this thing. Hold on. How do I get rid of this? I can't even get there. Whatever. There's tons of liquidity there. Tons of liquidity here. There's tons of liquidity here. So I anticipate this beautiful little block over here, this 10.3 to 10.4 area to get tapped, And I still think that we're going to go to 11,000s. I'm not going to argue. I would not take that. I would not take that statement back. I anticipate that we're going to go to 11,000s for sure. Nothing's guaranteed, but I do anticipate that we're going to go to 11,000. If you throw a simple fib level on this, 618, perfect. It's a good short. Yeah, you could short this over here. All right, let's go back to the indicator. That's where we're getting off track. Oh, there you go, dude. 30-minute tap liquidity. Boom. 100x short, right? We're in the middle of the equilibrium, so it's not really... Oh, we're exhausted. Oh, we're exhausted. We're not over under, though, but we don't even have a cross, right? So I'm not telling you to go full size short on this, right? 15 minutes punting a short. We didn't cross yet. I don't anticipate us crossing for a while because this is a lagger, right? The RSX the RSX is the stamp. The stoke is what happens first, right? Over under, right? Once this thing goes under, this thing goes above. That's gonna be short. Makes sense, right? Rejection. You want to be under the signal line, no matter what happens. You want to be under the way you are over here. You want to be under the purple line, the way you are over here. You want this line to be under this line when you punt shorts, right? You can do whatever you want, but that's just the right way to do it. Like over here, right? We weren't under it, but we still crashed, right? Which means that it came from a higher time frame. I don't know what time frame it came from. Right here, there you go. It came from a higher time frame. So that being said, that's how I use my liquidity. Again, one more time, my favorite time frames are 15 minute, 30, 45 for intras. For scalps, I apologize. 1 hour is my staple. I play the 1 hour all the time with the liquidity. It's my intra trade levels. BTC for some weird reason respects the 1 hour very well. I don't know why. I don't know how, but it does. It's beautiful. It doesn't really miss the levels on the 1 hour. So. You know what? You could tell yourself that the 30-minute works just as well, but I like the 1 hour a lot better. Yeah, you could tell. Look, hold on. The 1 hour looks like this, but the 30-minute looks like this, which means that the 30-minute respected it better. But not backtesting this, you can't. But using this for 3 months, I had a lot more success with the 1 hour over the 30-minute. So you could use both. 45-minute is great because it's 3 15-minute candle closes, so it gives me confluence on my scalp. If I want to enter a trade on my 15-minute time frame, my 45-minute would give me the confluence as opposed to waiting for my 1 hour, right? Because my 1 hour is an extra 15-minute candle. I might miss a prime entry. So the way I would use it is look at the 15-minute for entries, 30-minute and 45-minute for confirmation, and then your 1 hour for your level. That's how I would use it, right? And I still use it that way. And it's been making me a solid. Actually, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's been awesome, dude. It's made me a killer worth of money. And I'm talking about starting accounts with little money and making them into like 5 figures and stuff like that, just for testing purposes, right? Because you don't want to test real money, so you test it with a couple of $100s to see if you can make it into a couple of thousand. And then before you know it, you have 1.5 BTCs from a couple of $100 investment, right? Just strictly testing indicators, which is great, which means that they work, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM. It's exactly how I used it. And don't forget, guys, if you look at the 3-day one more time and you see all these liquidity levels that they're above you, excuse me, right? See this? Where's your 25? 10-4. So I anticipate that we're going to eventually get up there. Dumping from here and just dying without taking any liquidity up here. I mean, yeah, it could happen, but it's not likely, right? It could happen, but it's not likely. You see how we kept going up without touching the 25x, which was somewhere down here? And what happened? We dumped into it and we bounced off the equilibrium. So now I really do anticipate that whenever we get our bounce, we're going to go over here and then we're going to target this and then we're going to die. And then consolidate, and then go up, whatever. It doesn't matter what I think. Who cares, right? This is just an idea. But look at the higher time frame to understand where the top and the bottom could potentially be, where your ceiling is. Like you could tell, the daily has 25x short at 10.93. Excuse me, with the equilibrium mid band there. What are the chances you're gonna break through that, right? It's off the first attempt you should reject. So that being said, that's how I use them. And one more time, 25L means 25X longs, 50X longs, 100X longs. And then from the top side, 25x shorts, meaning how much leverage they're using. They're using 50x, it's a 50x short and a 100x short. So usually BTC does ping pong between the 100s if the range is really tight before a breakout, but more likely than not, you're going to see it range between the 50s. This is your cleaner range, right? It goes from 50 to 50. It ping pongs 50 to 50, right? And then when it starts ping ponging 100 to 100, you know that a move is on its way. Like a move is going to happen very soon, right? So that being said, enjoy the video, guys. Questions, DM me. Enjoy your day. Cheers.